All right, good morning. So I apologize for having to shift the test on you with the district telling us that we are not having school on Monday and Tuesday. I didn't feel like I could give you that test on Tuesday. So we'll take it Friday. You guys are prepared for it. It's really okay. I promise. It'll be 60 questions. You've got the option now of choosing to not do the drawing, but if you choose to do it, you'll get those points. It's basically you do it, you get the points. You don't do it, you don't. But there'll be no, penalties or anything with that. The lab that you're going to do today will help you to make sense of this cell respiration stuff a little bit more, along with the review sheet. Okay, I promise I've taught you everything that you need and you'll be okay. You'll do well on the test. It'll be all right. So with that being said, you are going to work through this lab, okay? And when you open it up, it'll take you to this page where you'll click on this interactives. You'll log in with your, you'll have to create an account. It's pretty easy to do. And then once you're logged in, you'll go through and look at this background information. It just kind of gives you some little bit of information there. Then click on the messing about. It talks to you about the 4 different organisms. So we have crickets, mouse, peas, and the rat. You can play with this before you actually kind of start looking at collecting data. You can change the organism and then change the temperature. And then once you click load, you'll see the organism in here. And with that organism in there, what you'll then see is the animal in there. Once you click, you can change up here and get the time. So you can decide your total amount of time that you're going to get. It's time-lapsed. I would just let it run the whole thing. Record your starting CO2. So when you are doing the actual lab, you'll record that total CO2, the beginning CO2, the beginning O2. I think actually we just have you doing the CO2 to start with. But when you watch this, and you'll click play down here. And so you'll be able to make some qualitative observations of the organism. You'll be able to watch what it's doing. You'll see the values that are here. So the oxygen gas, the CO2 gas. You can see what the temperature is. So this would be at room temperature. Okay. You kind of see them moving around a little bit. These are similar to the probes that we used in class. All right. And then when you're done, after the time is up, you can get your total time. If you let it go the whole time-lapsed 14 minutes, this was 866 seconds. Okay. You'll record the values. All right. So this was just to get used to it. And then you'll just kind of skim through this, and you realize that they kind of talk about that they're just going to do carbon dioxide. So when you're doing your actual data collection, that's what you guys will do, is just the carbon dioxide instead of doing both. All right. So as you look at this, you're going to do the assigned animal for you. Again, you've got your total time here. I believe that this one goes for a little bit longer. So this one is crickets. Let's warm them up and see kind of what happens here. So we'll load that. And then after you get it loaded, you'll tell it to play. Okay. So you see the time lapse. You can do qualitative observations about the movements and things that you see. In the table below is where you'll record your change in time will be your total time. So we'll just kind of let this run here. If you forget to record the initial time, then, or the initial carbon dioxide value, you can get it at the end. All right, so this was our total time. So the seconds is 1401 because it's 1 frame per second. My temperature was the 31 degrees, so I would put this here, 1401. If I forget to get my initial CO2, I can go back and get it, but I'll go ahead and record my final CO2, which was 4881. Oops. And then my initial CO2 was, I'm going to scroll back and get that. Whoops, I'm going to move myself out of the way. All right, so we'll scroll back. It was 737. It's an airplane. And then the mass you'll get from up above. So because I'm doing crickets, my mass is 48. And then if I scroll over, it did the math for me. So my respiration rate is this 1.97. So I would then record that on my table for my crickets for the 31 degrees. Okay, so I got the same number here as Megan. You'll then put it, if you do peas, make sure you click on the peas and record your value there. If you're doing the rats, make sure you click and record your value there. And then if you're doing the mouse, make sure you record your value there. So make sure that, again, when you do this, you scroll all the way over and get this final number for the microliters per gram per second. So make sure that you're recording the right value and not this first number. And then when everyone's got their data in here, which should be by the end of the day Wednesday, you will then record and do your final data analysis, where you're going to have use the class data sheet. You'll do the graph of all the organisms at all 3 temperatures. If you feel there's enough data in there when you're looking at it tomorrow, you've got at least, maybe 3 values for each organism, and you want to finish it up, you could do that. But make sure there's at least 3 values for each organism before you do this. And then you'll do your final explanation. And that it's actually not going to be due until Tuesday now, since you'll have that test. So tomorrow the goal is to just get your data in there, get it recorded, and then work on the review sheet and studying for that test. So have a great Wednesday. Let me know if you have questions, and I will see you on Zoom on Thursday.